Hey everybody, I'm Nancy Hassel of American Pet Professionals, and I am so excited to be here talking about leveraging LinkedIn for your pet business for the Global Pet Expo Global Learning Series 2021. So let's jump right in. Today we're going to be talking about using LinkedIn to grow your pet industry connections and to promote your pet business. Yes, people, LinkedIn. I know some of you might be thinking, I haven't been on LinkedIn in 5 years. I don't need a job. Well, we're going to walk you through it. It's a really fantastic platform, especially if you're looking to build your business, grow your connections for B2B. So let's get started. So most people, when I ask, are you on LinkedIn? The answer that I get, and that I literally get weekly because I ask this question a lot, is the answer is almost always yes, I have a profile, but I don't use the platform and I should probably be more active on there. And then I say, well, why aren't you active on there? And a lot of times they'll tell me, well, I posted stuff regularly, but it really didn't have any leads. So LinkedIn is just more about creating connections versus posting daily. It's much more about creating those connections. So why LinkedIn? And here you go. I'm going to give you a lot of stats. So you might find this really interesting. So LinkedIn currently has over 760 million members, 260 million log in monthly. 46% of those are daily active users. I'm one of those daily active users. Microsoft purchased LinkedIn in 2016 for 26 billion. 61 million LinkedIn users are senior level influencers, and that's also at the pet industry level. And 40 million are decision making positions. LinkedIn is the most used social media platform among Fortune 500 companies. And LinkedIn profiles with photos are viewed 21 times more. Think about that. And 36 times more in in-mail messages. So be sure to use an up-to-date professional looking photo, especially ones that people will recognize you from other social media platforms on your profile. LinkedIn is the #1 channel B2B marketers use to distribute content at 94%. HubSpot found that LinkedIn is 277% more effective at generating leads than Facebook and Twitter for B2B. That's an insane number to me. So if you're not on LinkedIn, I hope that this is starting to inspire you. There are 9 billion content impressions in the LinkedIn feed every week, and only 3 million users share content weekly. So think about those numbers in relation to the 760 million users. So only 3 million are relatively sharing content on a regular basis. So if you have content, if you have ways that you want to connect with people on LinkedIn and you're not already doing it, you definitely need to be doing it. LinkedIn makes up more than 50% of all social traffic to B2B websites and blogs. That number is really crazy to me. So 92% of B2B marketers include LinkedIn in their digital marketing mix. So if you have a social media team and they're not actively using your business on LinkedIn, they should be. And you should have a page on LinkedIn for your business as well. And you don't have to do everything at once. If you're just getting back into LinkedIn, if you are creating a profile, you can do that first and then start creating a business page. So don't be overwhelmed by that. You can do everything step by step. So LinkedIn reports that users spent 3 times more time watching videos than viewing static content. And LinkedIn found that videos were shared 20 times more likely than any other type of content. I will tell you, back in 2018, probably October, November, I listened to a social media podcast about this girl who was using video for her marketing on LinkedIn. And it was really inspiring. And I said, I can do that. So she wasn't doing anything groundbreaking. She was asking questions, doing 1 to 2-minute videos. And I started in December of 2018. And I started doing almost weekly videos, no more than 2 minutes. I would ask a question relevant to my business, relevant to the pet industry, relevant to what's trending. And I started doing that more and more. And I did it for a full year, to the whole year of 2019. But whenever I would go to a conference and see people that I know from the pet industry, they would say to me, every time I click on LinkedIn, you're there talking. And I had a lot of fun with the videos. So a friend of mine said, did you tell them that's why you're doing it? And I said, no, I just thought it was funny that every time I was talking to somebody that they were on LinkedIn, that they would see me. And it was a really interesting growth period for LinkedIn for me. I had over 1,000 new connections that came organically from people seeing my videos. And the kicker is that anybody that watched the video, liked or commented on the video, that video was then shared to their LinkedIn audience. I don't know how true that is anymore. I know the algorithms always change, but that's why I did it. So if you're interested in doing video, try it out, test it out. It's actually a lot of fun. So hopefully I have your attention now and that you're getting excited about getting that LinkedIn profile up on LinkedIn, creating one, or updating your LinkedIn profile. I will tell you, I update my LinkedIn profile pretty regularly, but every year I go through and I make sure everything is up to date, that things may have changed, or if I had a speaking thing or an award won or anything like that, that it's on my LinkedIn profile. So once your profile is complete and up to date, start putting content on your page. The LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to create an article. So I would say to you, if you have an article, write an evergreen article, something that reflects to your brand or your pet business, your product, your service, whatever it is, so that when people go to your LinkedIn profile, it's not just about the content that you're posting daily, but if they see articles you have written, it might be an interesting way for them to find out more about you, more about your business. I actually wrote an article when I first was doing articles on there saying LinkedIn should have a pet industry category because according to LinkedIn, we're all veterinarians. That still has not changed. Hopefully it'll change soon. So as you're doing more and more content, share something fun about your business, right? Of course, everybody's going to post similar things on similar platforms, but think about your audience on LinkedIn, that they're more business orientated, and then they're more B2B, people that you want to potentially do business with. So if you're sharing a new product, make sure that you're writing it in a way that is catering to that product and to your audience. Same thing with your sharing a new service. If you just won an award, if you're doing a collaboration, something that you're doing with another pet professional potentially, make sure you tag them in all of the content and the text that you're putting out there. If you're featured in the news or on a podcast, you'll see that shared regularly. And then, of course, picture of you at a pet event, a booth at a trade show. I know that since we're doing digital this year because of COVID, a lot of people have been posting all their beautiful booths from global from last year. So we can't wait to get back to that, but it's a really fun way for people to start interacting with you and saying, oh, your booth looks great. I love the product. Tell me more. So share those types of things. Recently, I posted excited to be part of Global Pet Expo. I tagged Global right here, and that's another good thing that you should do is tag people that you're collaborating with. Tag them. I also tagged Pet Business Magazine because the article was in their magazine, and I get some comments and some likes and just a nice way to say thank you to people that I'm working with. And I did that on my regular page on LinkedIn, my personal page. You can also share a blog post from your website. Again, share a video. But if you have a highly polished video, a highly produced video about your product, about your service, you can also put that on LinkedIn. I will tell you with videos, make sure you put closed captioning in there. You will have a much higher watch time. And a lot of times people are at work on LinkedIn. I know most people are working from home, but if they're going back to work and they're watching LinkedIn, they can't have the volume up. So make sure you have closed captioning on those shares. And then ask a question on LinkedIn, create engagement. If there's something that's happening in the industry, ask a question about it. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about that? You know, get some engagement going. You'd be surprised about how many people will start engaging with you when you're asking a question. Another cool way to do that is LinkedIn makes it easy for you to create a poll right in your feed. And I did this the other day, and I'll show you that in a second, but it's a really great way to get interaction and get people starting to comment on those polls. I also share our weekly pet events newsletter on both my business page and my personal LinkedIn page every single week. So if you are going to start a post, right, most people know this hopefully by now that you can upload a photo, you can put a video, you can now create events on LinkedIn, which is a really great way to promote an event. Even if it's off LinkedIn, you can put the URL and where people can find it. You can invite people on LinkedIn. And then, of course, you can write an article. But when you click right in here, it's going to bring you to the next page where you can, again, upload a video, a photo, right? But it also gives you these options here. You can celebrate an occasion, find an expert, offer help, share that you're hiring, which is a great tool, and then create a poll which is what I did the other day. The other thing that they'll do is you have hashtags that you should be adding. So on any video or anything I'm posting, I will usually put hashtags in that are relevant to the topic that I'm talking about. And I always hashtag LinkedIn. If I'm hashtagging, if I'm doing a video, I always put hashtag LinkedIn video, hashtag video. And that will help with other people on the platform seeing my content. So creating a poll is a really fun way to garner that interaction with people and get people to start paying attention to you. So this is what I asked about a couple of weeks ago. I asked people, would they be comfortable going to pet events in the next 6 months? And I just put in answers here. And here you'll see it's not a huge amount of people that answered, 34 votes. But think about if 34 people came right into your store right now. So that would be really amazing interaction. You might be a little overwhelmed. You can click on that and you can look at who was voting. We had comments, people were also commenting. So that helped with the engagement there. But the cool thing is at the bottom, you can see that it shows 981 views and there's a little arrow pointing to that. If you click on that here, it's actually hyperlinked and it's going to show you all the people that viewed what you were doing. And this is a little secret ninja tip that I think is underutilized. So you click on that. It's not just about the analytics or the data of who saw what, but it's more about, you can see the companies that saw what you were, posting. And this goes for all of your posts. I think it's over like 300, I think, views. Once you get that, you'll be able to see it. If you're looking at LinkedIn on your phone, if you have the app, all of these companies will actually be hyperlinked. And I'm going to show you in a second on how you can click on those or go to those and start engaging with those people and start sending people connections. And they might be like, this person just posted that poll and I saw it and now they're connecting with me. How are they doing it? Well, they're paying attention to who actually looked at the LinkedIn statistics that they gave you. It also shows you, where they're, who is watching, their business information, and then it just shows that, their title, and then it shows where they're located. These two things aren't that exciting to me. I'm more excited about who the companies were. Say you have a vet product coming out and you want to know about IDEX and you want to reach Henry Schein and all these people in the veterinary world, which is pretty interesting. Usually when I post stuff, I have much more non-veterinary pet companies that are on here, listed on here. So I find it really interesting. So the promotion or marketing of your business is not all that different, but think about who you are trying to connect with. Think about that audience and who is going to be seeing your content on LinkedIn. I think it's super important to think about that. And then think about what kind of value you're adding to your connections with what you're sharing on LinkedIn. It's not always just about posting an award. Are you sharing some valuable information? For example, every year in the beginning of the year, I put out a pet industry events calendar. It's a freebie, anybody can download it, and I put it out there for people to grab. And I get a lot of emails or in-mails, people thanking me for putting it together. I think it's just a great way to collaborate with the pet industry. So that is something that I do every single year. And of course, this past year, updating it monthly, it's been kind of crazy, but it's something that adds value to people that they don't have to search for, they have it at their fingertips. So think about who you're sharing what your content to. And of course, have a little fun on LinkedIn, right? You want to show your personality, but just be professional. LinkedIn is not Facebook. So think about your LinkedIn profile as a reflection of your business, yourself, and your brand. I can't stress that enough. LinkedIn is not Facebook. Although the platforms themselves may look similar, the way that they're laid out is two totally different audiences. So now that you've updated your profile and you started to post content regularly, hopefully you're starting to post once a week, twice a week, maybe starting to get that interaction. You want to start building your connections on LinkedIn. Of course, you could do it at the same time, but I think that it's really important to get all of those profile things done, and then you can start building connections, because as you're building those connections, people are going to go to your profile naturally and see what you do and what your background is. And if you don't have that done first or updated first, it could be a little awkward, especially if you have an old job that's still on there like you're working there. Okay, so I am going to show you how you can find some of those contacts right on LinkedIn. Okay, so as I was showing you those poll people, how you can do it, if you're not sure on how to find contacts on LinkedIn, you can just go right here into the search bar. And let's say you're looking for a pet store, right? You can go here and look for the pet store if you're trying to connect with more pet retailers. And you can go here and you can say, oh, I want these people are in Florida. You can actually narrow down the search, and I'll show you how to do that. But you can click on that and see who the people are and where they work, what they do, and you can start connecting with people. Oh, I think I'm already connected with them, right? So let's go to, let's say you're looking for Pet Supplies Plus as an example. Everybody knows who they are. And you want to, in the search, you can go down by state and by connections and all of that. You can also just go to people and see what their job titles are. So I have 17 connections with Pet Supplies Plus, but maybe I want to go in and connect with the CEO. Just hit connect and boom, you can add an email to it, but I usually just hit connect and go forward with that. It's just easier for me. And then more people will connect with you, the more people that you're reaching out to. I will tell you that one time I was doing a search for people in Washington, D.C., and I was looking for pet professionals because I was having an event, and I sent out about 100 invites through LinkedIn because I narrowed it down, right? So you can search people, the companies, jobs that they have. You can start adding all these different filters and it will break it down for what you're looking for. And out of those 100 invites that I sent, I think 35 people showed up to my event, which was kind of mind-boggling. It took a little bit more time, but it was much more interesting to me to start engaging with people in the industry through LinkedIn than just sending an invite or an email blast out. So I sent them each an individual email, said, hey, we're having this great event. Would you like to come? And we had 35 people show up. Okay. So another thing that you can do is I'll show you what I was talking about earlier. If you go into your posts, I just did the drop down there and then click on the top here where it says posts, it'll show you all the posts that you have done when you click that. And here's the poll that I was talking about. So if you click this, it's going to bring you into all of the people that saw. And again, if it's on your phone, if you hyperlink, this is hyperlinked if it's on your phone, but this you could just copy IDEX, or you can go back into the search if you wanted to connect with more people in IDEX and start connecting with more people. And they're going to think, hey, how did they know that I was looking at their post or their information? So it's a really easy way to start doing it. I would say to you, start playing around with LinkedIn in the search. Start looking at some of the other people that you're connected with that have people that are in an area that you want to connect with, that you would like to be introduced to, and start connecting that way. Really take your time as you're really building more connections on LinkedIn to do that. And then you'll be able to send them a message. You could click on messaging here, which is called InMail, and then reach out to them afterwards. But be genuine and authentic when you're doing that. So that is just some of the ways that you can search for connections on LinkedIn. Again, I think you should just take your time daily and connect with people. I know when I was traveling a lot, if I was in the airport or on a plane or waiting to go somewhere, I would just go on LinkedIn and just start connecting with a lot of people via my phone. It's a really easy app. And if you don't have it on your phone, you should definitely do that. So another way is when we are back at conferences in person and getting all those business cards. You know, when you come back, you have those rubber bands stacked of business cards, especially from Global. So I will do that at the airport or at the conference itself. I will take the time to go through each and every single one of those cards and connect with everybody on LinkedIn. I also like to write down on the card, if I had a conversation with that person, a couple of things that will make me remember what we talked about, so I can send them a message and say, hey, I remember we talked about this when we were meeting at Global, or I loved your product, I want to know more, all of those types of things. So then when I'm following up with them, they are wowed that I actually remember. It's because I wrote it down. Again, you can do the same type of thing after a Zoom meeting. Say you're in a Zoom conference and there's multiple people in there. Go onto LinkedIn and find out if they're on LinkedIn and say, hey, it was great to meet you in the Zoom meeting. The same thing with a phone call. There's so many ways that you can do it. I think just taking it to that next step further. So as you're doing that, as you're sitting in the airport and you're connecting with all these people, your business and you are going to be front of mind in the people that you met at a conference or that you met on a Zoom call. within hours of meeting somebody. I think it's really going to help your business stand out. It's going to show that you're on top of everything and that you're really paying attention to what people are doing on LinkedIn. Again, send them a genuine email to see how you can provide value or help to them, not in a salesy way. The other thing is you will start to see the more that you are on LinkedIn that people are going to reach out to you with salesy kind of emails. They'll reach out to you even though it has nothing to do with your business. I get a lot of odd emails. You can just ignore them. You don't have to respond to everybody, especially if you're new to LinkedIn. You might notice that. Here's another tip that I think is so important, and this is less time consuming, right? Spend 15 minutes a day liking, commenting with genuine comments on your connections posts. So somebody that you're connected with on LinkedIn posts something about their business, it's interesting to you. You go, you like it, you congratulate them. Hey, this is really great. Congratulations. I want to hear more. Whatever it is your comment is going to be, have an actual human interaction with them through the commenting. The more that you do that, the more people that they're connected with are going to see you. It's also a genuine way of just building that connection. I don't think enough people do that. A lot of people are so focused on just posting all day long that they're not really looking and building those connections with each other. And I can tell you from myself from doing that I've gained clients, I've gained members joining American Pet Professional. I've gotten a lot of new leads, new connections just by being authentic when liking, commenting on the content that some of my connections post. So you can do longer than 15 minutes a day. I just think that if you have a time crush, 15 minutes is good. And I will tell you, with all of the stuff on LinkedIn, I am hardly on LinkedIn. So if you're thinking, I don't want to spend all day long on LinkedIn, you do not have to. I go in and out on LinkedIn a couple of times a day for very short periods of time. So it's really not a platform that you're going to be dragged down, that you're not going to be able to get to things when you're working. I just think that it's a fantastic tool that you don't have to spend a lot of time on to get a lot of value from. Here's another tip. So also, you want to see what your connections are commenting on. So it could be somebody that you're not connected with, and that's somebody you really want to be connected with. You want to get to know, them and more about their business. It's somebody that you really hope to know in the future. You can do it right now on LinkedIn. So here's what I mean. So LinkedIn will show you what your connections are posting on. So I am not connected to Michael Hyam. He is the North American show manager at the franchise show, and they posted a show that they had. One of my connections commented on it, congratulating him, telling them that he did a good job. So if this was something that I wanted to do with my business and I wanted to become a franchise and I want to have a store and I want to franchise a store or a service, pet sitting service, this is somebody that I might really want to be connected to because they probably have a lot of information and connections in the franchise world, being that they're the North American show manager for the franchise show, right? So this is a great way. So pay attention to what your connections are also commenting on. This has also gotten me a lot of leads and connections. So if I was interested in this, I would make a like, hey, this is great. Congratulations on the show. Good job. Then they're more than likely going to go and either give me a like back or look at what I do and then connect with me from there. So I do this often, and it's a really great tool that LinkedIn shows you what your connections are commenting are. It's a really great way to build more and more connections. I have connected with people in the past that I didn't think I would connect with. So again, once you start building your connections, be authentic. If you're reaching out to someone in mail, don't just jump in there and try to sell your product. It's not going to go over well. And of course, the more connections that you make, the more interactions that you have with those connections, the more people are going to start coming your way. It's just kind of the natural way that LinkedIn works. And remember, you're building real connections. These are potential business partners, right? It's not just to connect with somebody to connect with somebody. You're really building building those connections. I love connecting with people in the pet industry and in the media because for years I did public relations. So I have a lot of really cool media connections, some of them that I couldn't believe they accepted my connection. And that's just the way that LinkedIn goes. So here's the one thing that LinkedIn has that is pretty cool that's available that is not on your desktop version of LinkedIn. So if you are on the LinkedIn app, if you have it on your phone, a feature that is in the app that's not on the desktop is LinkedIn Stories. And it's like Instagram, Facebook, and that Twitter have, like the stories at the top if you're on any of those platforms. So I'll show you what it looks like. So right at the top, if you open the app on your phone, you'll see these little circles at the top. And this is relatively new within the last year. And you'll see myself, I can create a story here for myself. I can create one for my business. And then LinkedIn is here. And then all of the other people that have created stories. I will tell you, I have over 6,000 connections on LinkedIn. Maybe there'll be 12 to 24 people with stories here. So not a lot of people are doing it, but if you start doing it on a regular, consistent basis, more people are going to click in and see what your story is and see what you're talking about. So it's a really cool feature that is not on desktop, but only on the app. So if you're on the app, you should start trying that and testing it out. So think about posting 3 stories or slides, as it were, in a row that consists of a beginning, a middle, and an end. Whether you're talking and doing the story, whether you're promoting something that's coming up, it could be when it happened, when it's happening, how to register, and what you'll get for registering, or whatever the story is. You can be so creative with the different things that you can do on LinkedIn Stories. So have a little fun with it, test it out, try it out, and some of the cool things about LinkedIn Stories is also that it only stays up for 24 hours. So if you post a story and you get crickets, try again, right? Just keep trying. The more that you do it, the more people are going to be watching. Another really cool thing is that you can add a link into stories. So if you're creating a story, there's that little link at the top. You can press on it and add a website link. Not like on Instagram stories where you have to have 10,000 followers. You don't have to have that on LinkedIn. So that's a really cool way to get people to click on the story and then bring it back to your website and take them off of LinkedIn, right? And of course, have a little fun with it. It's a little more lighthearted than a static post. If you're doing video, you can have fun with it. I know a lot of business professionals are on another platform that they're dancing on. You don't necessarily have to do that, but you can definitely have fun with the LinkedIn stories. So as you're posting, you'll start to see who has seen your story. It's another way that you can connect with people who have viewed your story. So at the lower left-hand corner, first it'll say no viewers, and then it'll tell you, 5 viewers, 10 viewers. You can click on that and it'll show all the people that who have watched your stories. And then you can reach out to them. Hey, how are you? And they might be like, wow, that person, I just saw their story. Now they're reaching out to me. It's a little ninja tip that not everybody is doing. So try doing that. So guys, with everything that you can do on LinkedIn, test what works. Don't get, upset if when you're doing the first thing it does, you don't get anybody contacting you. You don't get a lot of leads. You have to keep going and testing every single part of what's going to work on LinkedIn, whether it's content, whether it's commenting and posting and liking, creating those true connections. Like I said earlier, I've had so many people connect with me because I just went in and did a genuine connection on LinkedIn, liked what they were saying, liked what they were doing. So just try testing it. And even if you test it for a month and you don't get a lot of interaction, maybe what you were doing didn't work, try another area of LinkedIn. Start going and doing all of that. I think that LinkedIn is very underutilized. There's a lot of pet professionals on there. There's a lot of people on there that would want to work with you, that would want to get to know your business, your product, especially if you're a product person. There's a lot of pet stores on there. There's a lot of ways to interact with all of the people that are on LinkedIn. So I would definitely try it out and let me know how your LinkedIn journey goes. I would be happy to comment and connect with you there and answer any other questions that you might have. So here's my contact information. I am linkedin.com/in Nancy Hassel. Just Google Nancy Hassel and I am on there, and I will connect with you on LinkedIn. And I hope that you have a successful LinkedIn journey. Try it out, update your profile if you have not done LinkedIn in a long time, because some of the other platforms are really tough to find those business to business contacts, those leads that you really need for your pet business. I've been on LinkedIn since 2008. It was the first platform I ever went on, and I have never looked back. It's really been an incredible tool for my business over the years. So I've even hired a ton of different speakers and met people for events that I was having. So really put yourself out there on LinkedIn, because you never know who's watching your content that will want to connect with you. I hope that this helps, and I hope you're having a great Global Pet Expo 2021. And I hope to see you guys on LinkedIn very soon. Thanks.